Hey everyone, now I know that I usually do underrated movie reviews at this time of the week, which I haven't done in a while actually, but today I'm going to switch things up because as you know, if you haven't known already, Scream 4 was my most anticipated movie of the year, and now with that gone, next up is Fast 5. And as a treat for you guys, the week before Fast 5 goes out, which I might, keyword might, be able to get an advanced screening of next week on Wednesday if I win passes to, I'm going to do something different in which I'm going to do quick reviews of the entire Fast and the Furious series, which is by far probably, I know you might disagree with me, but I'm going to put it out, my favorite guilty pleasure series there is. First up, 10 years ago, we had the first Fast and the Furious, which, of course, as we all know, stars Paul Walker, Vin Diesel, Jordana, Brewster, and Michelle Rodriguez. And the first film focuses on Brian O'Connor, who goes under the alias name Brian Spillner, played by Paul Walker, who's an undercover cop who's a very skilled street racer who's trying to infiltrate Dominic Toretto, played by Vin Diesel, who he has this car gang with him who's been pulling off these heists on trucks for a couple months, and now he's been assigned to crack down on their newest jobs by infiltrating, by becoming part of them. Now the reason why the first one is definitely the best in the series is because it knows what it is. It has ridiculous action. It has cheesy lines. It has unintentional humor at times. But the cars are awesome in this film. I mean, the main reason why I grew up with the Fast and the Furious series is because everything that they do with cars in this film, no matter how much it bends the laws of physics in it, they are awesome. And the first one has some incredible action sequences in it, especially the final attempted truck hijacking. The acting is nothing special, as you pretty much get what you expect from this kind of film. Like, the acting's just really subpar in parts, but Rob Cohen does a really good job directing this film. But the first one has some of the best action. It's got a great cast assembled, and for the first one, I think I'll give it a 4 out of 5. Yes, a 4 out of 5. I know some of you guys are going to disagree with me, but that's the point of this at the same time. Next up, we had Too Fast, Too Furious, which only focuses on Brian O'Connor as he has fled from Dom after the first film, in which he's now in Miami, in which he's working undercover again, this time with his childhood friend Roman Pierce, played by Tyrese, as they track down to infiltrate a drug lord, played by Cole Hauser, whose girlfriend is played by Eva Mendes, who's also a federal agent trying to take him down at the same time. Now the second one, not as good as the first. Still, the stuff they do with cars is awesome in this film. It just kind of meanders in some parts. Yes, there is a lot more car action in this one than the first film, but it all really amounts to nothing, and I think the villain, played by Cole Hauser, the drug lord, whatever his name is, he wasn't that good in it. Like, I found him to be very weak, and his line delivery was very shallow, so I gotta say that out of all the villains from all the Fast and the Furious movies so far, Cole Hauser definitely played the weakest one. And I really never found him that threatening at all in this film. He just tried to play it like very straight-laced, and I think that's really what brought this movie down. But with the cast additions with Tyrese, Ludacris, Devin Aoki, and a whole bunch of others, including James Remar too. I mean, come on. Any actor that's from Dexter stars in a good film once in a while. Still, the action is good, and Paul Walker and Tyrese give a pretty good pairing in this. However, the whole rest of the film, not as good. The car action's good, acting's okay, John Singleton's direction is alright for the action sequences, but it's nowhere as good as the first one. I think I give the second one a 3 out of 5. Next up was the film in the series that kind of took it in a new direction, and that was the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. This time you have an entirely new cast, who's headlined by Lucas Black, who plays Sean Boswell, who's a kid who's just trying to fit in, and he gets in a street race in the beginning after a high school or college football game. I still don't know which one it was, but I think it was high school. He ends up participating in the race, he wins, but both of the cars get crushed in accidents, and it ends up leading to him having to be taken to Tokyo to live with his father in order to stop getting into trouble, because he's been in the trouble with the law before. Now, in Tokyo Drift, which I know a lot of people are split on, like some people say this really brought back the street racing vibe from the first film, and others say that it's the worst of the series. But I've got to disagree and say that this is actually one of the better ones of the series, up towards the first film, because it really brings back that street racing vibe that we all loved in the first one. Lucas Black is okay in this film. Like, I've never found this guy to be a great actor. The only time I really liked him was when he played the quarterback in Friday Night Lights. However, everything else, he's just kind of weak. And he's okay in this film, but I still think they could have gotten a better lead actor. Bow Wow does his best too with what he's given, but the real great part about this film is definitely Kang, who plays Han Lue, who has become part of the next 2 films in the series, including Fast 5. I think that he is really good in this film, and he's definitely one of the best characters that the series has brought on. However, the one thing that brings down this film, even though it's got the best street racing out of all the films, I think, is that the whole subplot they bring in with the Yakuza and everything, I just found that to be unnecessary a bit. But nonetheless, the cars are awesome, the racing is definitely the best out of the series, and it's an improvement over the second film, and I'd probably give it a 3.5 out of 5. Like, I really enjoyed the third one. And finally, 2 years ago, we got a sequel that a lot of the original fans had been waiting for, and that was Fast and Furious. And that brings back Vin Diesel, Paul Walker, Jordana Brewster, and Michelle Rodriguez. Now, the fourth one I think is the truest sequel to the first film, as it once again brings back that street racing bit, even though there's really not a lot of it. Like, there's really only one big street race in it, even though the rest of the action is pretty solid in this film. The real standout for this film is that Vin Diesel and Paul Walker and Jordana Brewster are repaired in this film, and they all do alright, even though Jordana Brewster's kind of doing the same thing in the film of looking worried, scared, or like a combination of the part of the two. But I thought that Arturo Braga, played by John Ortiz, was a good villain. Like, nothing amazing, nothing memorable. He was just a good villain. Like, I kind of like his character. And to tell you the truth, I wasn't really expecting the plot twist that happened with this character either. The fourth one's got some of the most ridiculous action I've ever seen, and the editing is very tight in the tunnel chase scene. And the opening scene, which involves the tanker heist, is definitely one of the best heist sequences out of the whole series. And nonetheless, I enjoyed Fast and Furious. I wish there was more action though, because I think that Chris Morgan has definitely brought on some new stuff for the series since he started writing the Fast and the Furious film since the third one. But still, I think he can just add in more action for some of these scenes, because all of the stuff where they try to make it too dramatic, they just fail big time. But overall, Fast and Furious is definitely the truest sequel to the first film, and I really enjoyed it. I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5, even for how video gamey it gets in some scenes. So I hope you all enjoyed my reviews of the Fast and Furious series. I'll be seeing Fast 5 either next Friday or on that early screen, which I'll bring a review for you guys next Thursday for that. And if you like this video, subscribe to my channel where you can watch more of my videos, of course. In the meantime, I'm Tyler from Cali Reviews, and I'll see you guys later.